Welcome to an overview demonstration of the Enterprise IQ Material Planning and Purchasing modules from IQMS. Today, we will see how the Enterprise IQ system can help you plan and order materials needed to ensure you're meeting your production schedule deadlines. We will take a look at IQMS's Material Planning Board and push those material requirements to a purchase order in a few easy clicks. We will also review the Purchase Requisition and Purchase Order modules, along with the workflow approval process, which is part of our core functionality in Enterprise IQ. Let's start with the Material Planning Board. When an MRP is run within Enterprise IQ, it evaluates demand from both forecast and sales orders to create production work orders. It is also evaluating the inventory needed for those production work orders and creates the Material Exceptions List, which is the screen you can see here. The buyer can then easily evaluate what needs to be purchased, when it is needed, and what quantity is needed. Let's take a look at the Projected Exception tab at the top of the screen. The details at the top of the screen are all the items that have an exception and need to be purchased to fulfill work orders. If I highlight an item and double-click on it, it will complete the detail at the bottom of the screen. With the item highlighted, I can see that I have a current inventory at hand. I can also see what my total exception is that I need to order, and then what is left to order based on purchase orders that have already been placed. The system is also telling me in this middle section when I need to be purchasing those items and bucketing them into different time frames to allow me to purchase them in the most optimal fashion. The bottom section is telling me the work orders that are going to be fulfilled with that quantity I need to order. And the right section here is telling me the sales orders that are driving the work orders within the screen. Let's take a look at the top of the screen. As you see, there are additional tabs that will give us more detail as to what needs to be purchased. The requirements on past due POs display outstanding past due POs for required items. This is intended to be an expedite type screen. The raw material below minimum shows all materials with the current on-hand balance that is below the reorder point. This is intended to be a flag or notice screen. The outsourced material below minimum works the same way as the raw material. However, it is looking at outsource items that are in transit or below our reorder point at the outsourced vendor. The last tab is the Ideal versus Existing, which provides hints on how to better manage your current purchasing situation. It offers suggestions on what to do in terms of canceling, adding, or changing existing POs. Now that we've reviewed the tab, let's see how easy it is to push a material requirement to the Purchase Requisition or Purchase Order screen. By clicking on the item in the middle and the top section, we can see that we have two requirements or exceptions that need to be pushed to a PO. By selecting the exception and right-clicking, I have the option to add it to an existing PO, either by the item or add it to an existing PO for that vendor. I can also see all the better price breaks if there's multiple vendors that I can order this item from. By selecting Add to PO by Vendor, I will see a list of purchase orders that are available for that vendor. I can add this requirement either to an existing purchase order, or I can select New and add it to a new PO. Because the authorization is requiring approval, it did create a purchase requisition and is also waiting for an approval. You can see within the Purchased Requisitions screen the default information for the vendor FOB and terms comes through from the vendor information. The system automatically created the Purchased Requisition with my item and the requested date and quantity from the Material Exceptions list. In the top right corner, you can see the information regarding the approval process. Embedded within Enterprise IQ is a workflow approval process that can be processed from the requisition. Once the workflow checkbox is enabled, an email will go out to the approver for the requested buy. Once the approver approves the email, the requested buy person will receive an email back with the completed purchase order number for placing the order. Let's take a look at the purchase order screen. Enterprise IQ consists of two modules for purchasing. One, Pio Requisitions, which we've just seen, and the second is purchase orders. The Pio Requisition module is where all new requisitions are created or edited. This module will contain all purchasing records where the purchase order status is either not approved or denied. The purchase order module will contain all PO records whether approved or not. All of the POs in both modules are identical. Now that the purchase requisition was approved, it converted it to a purchase order with the item, order quantity, and the promised delivery date and requested delivery date. Purchase orders can have multiple items and also multiple release dates on them. Both the Purchase Requisition and Purchase Order modules allow for free-form entries for one-to-many items and also special notes. Each item can have a comment within the comment field, and then also quick price reviewing online. We also have the capability within the PO screen to archive or create new requisitions based off archived POs. We also have the capability to view archived purchase orders. Lastly, from this screen, you have the capability to right-click and jump to other areas of the system. We can add additional releases onto the PO, we can jump to inventory, or, more importantly, we can jump to PO receipts and transact a PO receipt in the system. Because you are managing all your purchases and receipts within the Enterprise IQ system, you can generate a vendor performance card based on your vendor's performance of delivery, price, quantity, and rejects. That is standard functionality within Enterprise IQ. Enterprise IQ provides the complete toolkit to analyze material requirements, create purchase requisitions, process through a PO workflow, and then have the purchase order available to send off to the vendor. Thank you for taking the time to watch this overview of IQMS material planning and purchasing. If you would like more information on the products and services from IQMS, please visit IQMS.com.